You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Alllard.
Well, it's December 5th. A big day today. Lots going on today. Seems like several events are going on at once, and one that our friends over at Crowley House of Hope will be involved in, the Toys for Tots. And I have Elizabeth Becker here. She's going to tell us all about their role in it and also their needs for the Christmas season and what plans they have for next quarter. How you doing these days? You busy?
Busy.
Good.
Good, but busy, yeah.
Good, but busy. And then you also probably should tell us at the end your holiday hours because, y'all going to take a little break.
We will.
Yeah.
Much needed.
Yes, of course. I know it's, we all could use it, so, and then I have Josh there in the master controls. He's going to keep us on track, I hope.
I'll try my best.
Do your best. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we got lots going on this around this community this time of year, of course.
That's right.
I believe there's a tree lighting coming up in Burleson. I saw when I was driving through the beautiful downtown Crowley, I saw the Olive tree going up, and I guess y'all going to have some sort of ceremony and whatnot.
That's right. I believe on the 7th.
I think ours is on the 9th, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I'll know next week because Monday I have the mayor and Tuesday I have Victoria. And if they haven't had it then, they'll tell you all about it.
They will, yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's talk about our sponsors so then we bring all this good news. First, of course, our friend Otto at our place. I was there this morning with my friends. Every other Thursday we go try to solve the world's problems with the men in my Sunday school class. And they're talking about, this and that and the other about a lot of football talk too. It's not all that serious. So
I don't know. Football's pretty serious for some of us.
You follow football, do you?
I do. I enjoy football.
Oh, is Cowboys your favorite team? I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
We do watch them.
Well, we do the best we can,
That's
right? And that's kind of how I feel about it. Well, we try,
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you, Otto. It was a great experience as always. Food was good. Service was great. We go there often enough that the young lady that waits on our table, she just goes around the table and says, "This is what you want, isn't it?" And she didn't even have to ask about it. She knows what we all want. And that's a nice hometown feeling when you do that kind of thing. Is that when you have that kind of relationship with a place that it's kind of like Norm and Cheers and all that.
Yeah.
Also, Gina's of course can be open. He's got the pizza there is very, very good. I don't know if you get over there that often, because it's in Burleson and all, but if you're ever in Burleson, and it's a great place for a lunch or something like that.
We've had it a couple of times.
Have you? Okay,
yeah,
good.
It's a good deal.
It is a good deal. And some people say, well, do they have anything besides pizza? Well, they do have great sandwiches. I've had a couple of those, and they have salads, and they have a couple of pastas, and so it's a good deal. Also, thank you to our friends over at Wild Cigar. They have a big party coming up a week from tomorrow on the 13th. It'll be the third year of operation, and they have some, raffles and giveaways, and they also have some sponsored deals. They get a lot of the big-time cigar vendors that will come through their place, and so they're seen as a spot to go to for the region, not just local cigar aficionados. So next time, Elizabeth, you want to go have a good cigar, you know where to go, right?
I know where to go.
Okay. But they also are very good with the community as well. They do a lot of charitable participation, and that's good. And so does our next sponsor, Southern Jim. They Speaking, mentioned today's December 5th, she's going to have a party from 5 to 8 tonight.
Oh.
So if you hear this tomorrow, you missed out. But if you hear this in time, drop on by. She's going to have some hors d'oeuvres from American Revelry. She's going to have a jazz trio. We're going to have like some wine and maybe a couple of cocktails, or I don't know if there's going to be mixed drinks, but there'll be a bar there. And also they'll be selling jewelry. That's isn't just a party. Yeah, well, it's Christmas time.
Yeah, right. Just in time for the holidays.
Yes, that's exactly right. And she's very good about these parties. And Robin, my wife, of course, works there. And so they've been, busy the last 10 days trying to put all the touches on this thing. And, so they're going to have a nice time. So run over to the Southern Gym over by the Standard, and you'll have a nice evening, a very nice evening. Also, thank you to our friends over at Old Pro Roofing. I saw John yesterday, 817-734-2756. I'll say it again because I messed that one up. 817-734-2756. supposedly there's going to be a storm tomorrow and all this other business. And that's a bad time to find out you have a leak. When we go around and we talk about our businesses, we have this organized little 50-second commercial for our business kind of thing around the room. He was talking about the fact that that the insurance companies are being more and more cantankerous, if you will, about old damages and things of that nature. So you need your roof inspected at least once a year. And he inspected mine. He also inspected another member of our groups and found no damage. So he's not there to upsell you and give you, doomsday prognostications,
Right.
just to sell you a roof or whatever else. So he's a good and honest man. All right. Also, thank you to our friend Jeff Kelly over at the Weathington Agency, 817-781-0546. Kind of a segue with real estate. I was talking with Greg Cooper, who's like a local expert on property taxes and whatnot, and the Central Appraisal District and all that on Monday. And one of the things we'll be talking about is elimination of property taxes down in the Austin legislature. I need to get Jeff on here and talk to him about what would that do for real estate, because he's really good about knowing the business of real estate, and he knows this area very well. So if you're looking to buy or sell, Jeff is the guy you need to call, or you can email him at jeff@jeffkellyrealty.com. Also, tonight, there's going to be a little party over at Local Life. It's an invitation only, and I'm invited.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's for the advertisers and that kind of thing. And Tiffany does a really good production. This week's issue just came out, and it's all on the nonprofits in Burleson. I guess just Burleson. Sorry.
No, well, Crowley House of Hope was in it.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
It's kind of Burleson area.
Okay. I haven't seen it. I saw that came out. I saw the cover. Are you on the cover? Okay, I just saw it on the phone. I haven't seen the copy of it yet, but I will pretty soon because it's all over the place.
It is. Yeah.
And so that's going to be very helpful, isn't it?
Yes, we were excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah.
That goes to 30,000 homes and goes to a lot of businesses. And so if you're like waiting for your oil to be changed or you're at the dentist office or whatever else, you're going to see copies of it there. And so it's pretty handy, and so it gets a lot of coverage. Now, as far as any of the nonprofits, from 5 to 7 tonight, Next Step Women's Center is having an open house. Hey, you can go ahead and leave that one up there, Josh. I'm getting to it, but also the Next Step Women's Center is having an open house, and it just 5 to 7, like I said, they're just going to show off a little bit. They got some new equipment. They want to show what they do, and it's a really nice facility. I remember back in the day, as they say, when it was a pretty small little pregnancy aid centers are called then. Now it was basically just a place to get clothes and for little kids and counseling and things like that. And now it's much more, and they have a men's counseling and help group, and I think I don't know many of those type of clinics, or not clinic. That's not a clinic. Those type of organizations have that kind of service. Also, again, the Toys for Tots. Tonight from about 6:30 to 9 or 6 to 9:30. Say it right. Over at Burleson Stadium. It's a big deal. They're going to have some of the performing groups. I found out. I thought it was just the high school groups. No, there's going to be some elementary singers and dancers as well. Jack told me yesterday. Also, Santa will be there. They'll have the Marines there in their nice dress blues, and they're going to be having the athletic teams do the heavy lifting if you have any. And so if you haven't donated yet, you still got time. After this show, I'm going to run by a Target. Do you have grandchildren?
I do.
How old are they?
They are 5 and 7. Little girls.
Okay. What a 7-year-old girl like as a present? Because I don't have any grandchildren. My kids are in their 29 and 32. So it's been a while since I bought children's toys. I'm going to go I'm going to buy one for a little boy and one for a little girl, and I don't.
My granddaughters love craft things, so anything you can do with glue and crayons and markers, they're all about that.
Okay, and so, and they'd say, "Well, I can't make it tonight." Well, you still make it to the boxes, and I think they'll still be available over the weekend. But so if you, I don't know, it just really bothered me when I was talking to Jack when he was on there last. the idea of a little boy or a little girl waking up with no Christmas is a hard one to take because as a parent, and I've come to appreciate the sacrifices my parents made when I was a small child in making Christmas possible. We didn't grow up destitute at all, but we didn't grow up with a lot of money either.
Right.
So it was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the end, we'll talk about what y'all's role is, but I want to talk about
Sure.
House of Hope more now. And when you brought us some stuff to show, and you just let us know when you're ready to show it.
Okay.
But what is going on over at the House of Hope right now? Is it? I assume it's fairly busy.
It's fairly busy. We have been. I've seen some of our busiest months here this fall. In October, the food pantry served 977 families. That's an all-time high for Crowley House of Hope. And it, you just, it's hard to fathom, that we can do that amount of work with such a, sort of a small team of people. But it does, and it always ends up working beautifully. So we were happy to be able to serve that many folks. This is a great time of year. The generosity is running high, and people really want to get out and serve and be a part of their community. And we are the fortunate beneficiaries of a lot of extra hands and feet right now. A very full food pantry, so we're able to do a bit more than families are walking away with more food than we have, say, we're able to do back over the summer months. And then, just the ability to operate these additional programs. So just the Monday before Thanksgiving on the November 25th, we distributed almost 600 Thanksgiving meals on top of, on our regular food assistance
600,
program.
that's a bunch.
It is a bunch, yes. And we were, really happy to be able to do that. Of course, we have a holiday toy assistance program as well, and we are probably at this point in time have signed up close to 450 children. We're prepared to take care of up to 600 children this year.
Yesterday, Garrett Roper of Harvest House is part of our BNI group.
Oh, good.
And they said they had about 600.
Yeah.
So just between the two of y'all, it's nearly 1,000 kids or more.
Right.
Plus, there's that Foundations Church.
The Fountains Fellowship here in Crowley.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it right. The Fountains Fellowship. I don't know why I said Foundations. The Fountains Church anyway, so who knows how many they have.
That's right.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, it's a bunch. Between the three of us, many children will be, cared for this holiday season.
Well, that's good. No, Jack said last year they raised about 3,500 toys, and they're looking for 6,000, and they may get it. I mean, because this is, I think, the third year they've done this, and
I think so.
And so it's now part of the schedule, so to speak. It's an anticipated event as opposed to some pop-up thing, and it's, of course, Toys for Tots has been around since 1947, I believe, but it's it's been around a long time, but not for us. So here it is.
Right. Here it is. They do a lot of good work. Crowley House of Hope has been connected with Toys for Tots for many, many years. As a source for toys for this community, and so we're glad to have something a little bit more local, right? A local person we can connect with, and instead of trying to connect with the big organization,
right?
A little bit challenging.
But it's just nice because hometown charity should stay hometown. You know what I'm saying? It's because a lot of people when they give gifts, they want to know that it's going to somebody in their community.
They do.
No, I mean they're people share. They give money, and there's Jack himself. Come on,
oh, good.
Come on in, Jack. Maybe we can. Hey, Josh, can we hook him up real quick? All right. You don't mind if he crashes your party, does he?
I sure don't.
Okay.
I sure don't.
Well, while we get Jack booted up with the mic and all this, we'll just continue about the House of Hope itself. What do y'all need this December?
Well, we are also looking for toys, right? We rely on the community for that. So not only do we receive assistance through Toys for Tots, Crowley House of Hope is a partner organization with WFAA Santa's Helpers. So there'll be a big Fort Worth donation drop-off event I haven't seen the dates on those yet, but if you see that on Channel 8 all the time about this time of year. And so Crowley House of Hope is a beneficiary of that. So if you give to that program, we will benefit from it. We also, just a lot of local congregations and individual community groups will work to raise toys. And so, again, with anticipating up to 600 children, we like to send moms and dads home with 3 to 4 toys per child, and so we're looking for 2,400 or so toys of various age levels. You can also make a financial contribution because children that are 11 years of age up to 12th grade in high school receive a gift card. We do not even want to consider how we would buy for tweens and teens.
Well, that's
it's a hard group.
That's I was just mentioning earlier about I don't know what to buy for, but the way I look at it is, what would I want? If I were 11 years old, and I'll figure it out. But it's interesting. But as far as one thing that we need to understand about the need that's coming up is that, with the holidays, there's going to be 2+ weeks of no lunch or breakfast for several kids.
Right.
And not just several, a lot of kids.
Lots of kids.
Yeah, and they don't have a summer type program like they do. They have, so basically for about 2 weeks plus, some of these families are going to have to scramble around a bit to try to get what they need.
Right.
And so I would advise my vast listening audience, I know that many of you all do already, but you might want to dig just a little bit more, so to speak, for December, because you're going to have 2 weeks or so where the kids are going to be consuming a lot more at home than they normally do.
And think about those foods like breakfast foods, boxes of cereal. I've got corn and green beans, for months. But breakfast cereal or granola bars or Pop-Tarts, those kinds of things that kids can fix for themselves safely. Because a lot of moms and dads are going to get up and go to work.
Well, what they tell me at Promises, which is one I deal with a lot, produce is always nice.
It is.
And that's kind of what I concentrate on, or canned meats. Because I've been in there a couple of times, and they have soup, and they have like you say, corn and beans. Jennifer used to joke about Harvest House has all the green beans they'll ever need.
Oh yeah.
But as far as but there's other things that you don't really think a lot about. Mac and cheese goes real quick, and they always ask for that. But they don't have. There's certain things you don't even think about. Right. Also baking material, flour, sugar, whatever else, and so it's really interesting. So, what are your hours going to be for Christmas?
Right. So we will. Our last day of service to the public is December 18th. That's a Wednesday, and then we will close our doors. There will be our Christmas distribution event. That's by registered families only, so I won't go into the details on that. But then we will reopen the first Monday of January. So I believe that's the 6th.
So, guys, you might want to maybe an extra box of cereal or two in there, and the grocery bag and all that. Anyway, so now we're getting all jacked, set up to go. Thank you, Josh, for your being quick about that. Yeah, he's going to talk about Toys for Tots. We're going to finish up with Harvest House. They have not Harvest House, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
House of Hope. I get y'all confused.
It's a lot of houses, a lot of hope.
Yeah, a lot of hope, I'm sure.
That's right. Right.
Josh, will you put the first thing she had? Okay. What is this we got going on here? The Martin Luther King Jr. National Day of Service. Right.
We this is our 3rd year. A lot of people have MLK Day off, and so we like to provide an opportunity if you're home or off from work that day, you want to come out and serve. We are available for that. Kind of 2 shifts there, 9 to noon or 12:30 to 3. You can call. You can see my information there. But it's a great day, to make a difference on your day off. And so it's in the spirit of Martin Luther King. He was all about serving his community, and so we just like to take this opportunity, invite people to come out and help us.
Right. And so they can call you at 817-297-6400 or at Elizabeth at Crowley OH. Okay, a little glare on the screen. CrowleyHOH.org. Okay, and you could.
And you could go ahead and start calling and emailing about that. We welcome families, young volunteers as well. So
What you talk about service we're going to be doing?
Right. So we'll have some of our regular work. We receive food donations on Monday. All of that has to be sorted and dealt with. We'll have some work in the store to prep for the week. So maybe you might hang some clothes or price some shoes. Lots of things to do. There may be a special project. We never know what we're going to come across. And so,
Well, I don't know if the high schools still do this, but they used to have a community service requirement.
a lot of them do.
Yeah, and so this would be a good way for some high school kids to pick up some of those hours
That's
they
right.
need.
That's right.
And your second one you brought to us, which is
So
this one here.
Every year we host 3 lunch and learn events. The first one will be February 11th, 2025. Those are opportunities to come have a quick bite to eat on Crowley House of Hope, and then get a quick rundown of our services and a tour of our facilities. It truly does last an hour from 11:30 to 12:30, and it's just a great way to connect with us if you're want to learn a little bit more, or maybe you're interested in volunteering and would like to put your eyes on us. We invite you to do that.
Yeah. It sounds like you're pretty busy, except y'all do need that time off. Some people might think y'all be working right up to Christmas Eve or something, but y'all do have families, right? And,
We do.
and they want to see the grandkids and all this other stuff. And so it's, I think both Promises and Harvest House have similar.
I think so.
I don't know what exact days are, but I know that probably the last 2 weeks of December they usually take off. And so, like I said, guys, it's going to be extra meals at the house. And I don't know. That's just something we need to consider.
Yeah.
So, Jack, how you been?
Great, thank you. I'm just really excited about what we're going to be doing tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I was just talking to her earlier because, I was going to go by Target afterwards, and I was trying to ask her, since she has grandchildren, what small children would like. I haven't bought toys for that age group since my kids were that age, and that was 20-something years ago,
Well, I remember when I was just a kid, boy, we had little things that we could buy, but they were all, made kind of just out of plastic and stuff like that. Little metal toys that we used to be able to take
toys
apart and all those things. Those don't have
Tonka
anymore.
toys. I like toys that you could build with, like Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys, and my son really enjoyed Thomas the Tank Engine, and boy, that got to be expensive because they're all made of wood, but all the intricate tracks and little doodads and buildings you could buy with it and all this other stuff. And of course, you had to have Thomas and this particular train and this particular train, because that was a big TV show at the time. Is that even on TV anymore? I don't know. I don't know. But I like toys that you could do stuff with or have imagination with, as opposed to, of course, when I was a little kid, the concept of video games was, we never considered it, So the toys we had were, if you had little army men or something like that, there was something you could use your own imagination with. And I think sometimes that's missing in the little kids' toys. So when I go to Target, I'm not going to buy them a passive toy. I want to buy something that the kid will actually be engaged in and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's great to, I mean, my parents bought me a bunch of those Tinker Toys and blocks and all those things. And
Legos.
Used to just to build stuff. And of course now, Legos has a number of little kits which require you to follow instructions. And so now there's an 11-year-old child or a 10-year-old child that's trying to put things together and then follow the instructions. That's great stuff. That's learning process in addition to having a toy to play with.
Also, another big toy I liked was Hot Wheels. With the the yellow track and and all the and what I would do. I mean, this is 10-year-old kid. I'd make my own version of Six Flags. All right. And I so I'd incorporate all those toys into, Lincoln Logs, Tinker Toys, Hot Wheels. You had a little army fort and, and all this, I just try to make it all that stuff. And, I just don't know if that kind of stuff, kids have that kind of imaginative toys anymore. But you'll be glad to know, Jack. I was at our place this morning, and that box is about full.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm seeing them being filled up all over the city. I mean, this is the best. This is the most benevolent community I've ever lived in, really. In the 26 years that I traveled throughout the Marine Corps, we never really saw this kind of community involvement with things like, House of Hope and Harvest House and the fountains and good heavens, just the benevolence and the love that's presented. I mean, Elizabeth, you're just incredible love for these families who are in destitute need. They need food. Good heavens, we just spent a couple of years of people losing their jobs. We had businesses that shut down. We had families that were just literally can't afford these toys for these kids. But the person that gets punished is the kid. That's not fair. Those little kids need toys, and we're going to make sure it happens because we're a bunch of Marines, and we're going to make toys available for these little kids.
I think that was the whole point of it, is the irony, if you will, because Marines are known to be tough and rugged, and and you see them in grease paint and ready to jump off out of a back of a helicopter with fire in their eyes and their teeth gritted in there. But this is the softer side, if you will, to show their service side. I think there will be some couple of Marines there tonight, right?
Yeah, we'll have a couple of Marines in dress blues.
Ah, yes.
I think the one thing that I keep telling everybody is that you can take the Marine out of the battlefield, but you can never take the battle out of a Marine. And we're fighting for these little kids, and so you're going to see all of the ingenuity and imagination and love that we can for these little kids. Just a warming feeling that we get to have when we take care of these little kids.
Well, there's another thing also that it occurred to me more as we've been talking about Toys for Tots a lot, is that the memory of not having a Christmas will stick with the kid a long time, and it will be an embarrassment, source of embarrassment to them when they get back to school and they say, "What'd you get?" And they'll either have to make up some story, or they'll just, "Oh, I didn't get anything." And I don't know, sometimes little kids aren't very understanding about maybe their little friend didn't get something. They're like, "What's the matter with you?" And that kind of thing. And so going without, it's hard to get over it. And the thing about it is, like, I look at my dad, he grew up pretty poor, but they had Christmas. All right. It wasn't extravagant. It wasn't, buy the store out kind of thing. But his mother made sure there's something under the tree for him and his brothers and sister. And not everybody has that kind of family support system. So,
yeah, there's a lot of stress this time of year on families, right? You talk about being, kids home from school for a couple of weeks. How am I going to provide that extra food that we need? And then the worry of not being able to provide for a child at Christmas. These families, and we hear it all the time. They want the same things that all of us want. It's no different. Just their ability or just their circumstances in life have presented challenges that others don't face. And so being able to alleviate that stress for these parents, I mean, that's what we see, so we set up a toy distribution, and moms and dads or whoever are caring for these children come in and choose the toys that they want for each specific child. We believe that choice is empowering for these families. And so anytime we can allow them or provide that ability, it really makes a difference for them. And so, we're walking parents and grandparents through a toy distribution, and just you can feel the weight being lifted off of them.
How exactly is this going to work? I mean, we know about your collecting of the toys, but you and Jennifer and the Fountains Church over in Harvest House is what I'm referring to with Jennifer.
David does. David's over at Fountain.
Okay, I don't know this community church, but I'm sure it's David's the point guy. All right. Mechanically, so to speak, logistically is a better word. How's this going to work? When you say after you collect the toys, you're going to give them to the number of registered families that each of these have had.
Well, what's really unique about the program is that a family can call the nonprofit organizations. They can't call the Toys for Tots Foundation. I mean, they're in Virginia, Quantico, Virginia. But we bring in the nonprofit organizations, and House of Hope and Harvest House and Fountains are registered nonprofit organizations. So people can call those 3 nonprofit organizations and request toys for their children from 12 and below, and then how many boys or girls, how many kids they have, and then they register that person, and then somewhere in the first part of December, about the 10th through the 15th or so, they're asked to come in to a particular time and pick up the toys for their children. And Elizabeth was just saying that they come and they pick the toys that they want for their children. So it's a choice that they make. And then of course, as they walk out the door, no one is the wiser. Nobody knows, what it is. And that's, I think, what's the best part about this program is that, it's already embarrassing enough to say I don't have enough money to take care of my children at Christmas time. So we're there to kind of help that scene. And I think the nonprofits are there to make it even better for them so they don't wind up having to be embarrassed at what they're doing.
How exactly does this work at your place? Because you're going to have, you said 450 families. How do you decide who picks first?
Right. So it's as they register, they're assigned a time slot and an appointment, basically. And then they arrive at that appointment time. They're notified of that, and then they arrive at that time, and then they go through that toy distribution. So the way we do it is not every toy goes out all at once, right? The room is not filled with every toy we have. So we are, they've been sorted by age and by gender, and then as toys are selected, more toys are brought out. We are extremely mindful of the fact that we want the people who came at 9:00 to have the same access as the people who come at 8 p.m. that night. So we are very strategic in how toys are brought out.
That's what was on my mind. Because like you have somebody that signed up maybe later. Doesn't. They may say, well, the pickings will be slim, but you're going to try to make sure that they have the same basic selection opportunities. So that's good because that was, I was driving over here, I was thinking, I was thinking about Harvest House for 600. How are they going to decide who goes first? Is it just who signed up early enough and the things of that nature? Okay, I get that, but it's like if you signed up at the last minute, which by the way, is it still available, or is it pretty much over?
Our application is still open, at least until tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're going to assess where we're at numbers wise tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll make a determination. But
I don't know what Garrett did. Garrett say he was closing it after a certain point? I didn't know, but you could still sign up today or tomorrow. I know that the distribution time is, what day is that?
Probably about the 15th or so.
Right, I think we pick up toys from Toys for Tots around that time.
Yeah, well, I thought you pick them up. I thought y'all delivered.
Either way.
Either way, okay.
It's a little bit more convenient for the Marines if they can come and pick it up, but we do have an ability to deliver.
Well, and so they come and they pick it up, and
then we have a few days to, do our work setup wise. We have to sort those toys and get a count, and then we'll have our distribution day.
And you need volunteers to help you with that.
Darn too.
We do.
That was exactly what I was thinking. I said, you're going to need some hands on that one.
Right. Yeah. Folks can volunteer with us. The same contact information that was on the day of service flyer would be the same way you could reach out if you're interested in serving for Share the Love. I will say we have had, it's a 2-hour shift. And so we do have some groups who have already, filled some time slots.
This number is still good. And this email is still good. So
it is.
817-297-6400 still works for you. Huh?
Still works for Share the Love service. So you can volunteer for that.
Well, I'm glad to hear about the equitable distribution, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing because I don't know. That's a logistical deal, but Marines are known for logistics, right? Well, Well, you like to think so anyway.
Well, I was actually a logistics officer for several years, and we managed the equipment that we use in battle. We load all of our equipment on ships. We have 13 ships that are full of all the equipment, and we float the ships somewhere close to where we think there's going to be some kind of a conflagration. And then if the President and the Secretary of Defense and Joint Chiefs of Staff determine we're going to make a landing, well, our equipment's already there. So we move it off to an area that's safe. The Air Force flies all of our people in on top of that gear, and then we prosecute or go to that particular area. That's logistics.
Hopefully, under this next administration, we won't be having to do that. But you never know. You never know. I mean, sometimes these world actors are not very cooperative. But there you go. So also, when you're going through and you're selecting toys, there is some sort of limitation. I'm sure you can't just come in there with a shopping cart and take all you want.
Right.
So what is the limitation? Is it one per child or something like that?
No, our goal is always 3 or 4 per child.
Good.
We want kids to have a good Christmas, and we want to help parents do that. So they will have the ability to take 3 or 4 items home. Sometimes we, divide toys up by size, so they may be able to select one very large toy and then 2 or 3 smaller toys. So again, it just comes down to really assessing what we've got and doing a good sort. Parents also select stocking stuffers. So we have folks that bring, cases of crayons and things like that.
I didn't even think about that. That'd be a pretty good, decent little gift. When I had stocking stuffers, I got an apple and I got an orange, but I did get it, maybe a bag of M&Ms or something. I also got, my mother has a weird sense of humor. She had one of those paddle ball things. As soon as that rubber band broke, she got it to use on me. And so it's like, oh, great. So I never wanted to play with it because I was afraid I'd break the rubber band on it. And then all of a sudden it's going to be used against me, I guess. But anyway, I didn't even think about stocking stuffers.
We do a lot of mittens and hats, and it's going to get cold. Those are great stocking stuffers, so we welcome that. And then this year, new this year to share the love, families will leave with a bag of what I'm calling fun food for the holidays, right? So a box of hot chocolate mix, a bag of marshmallows, a box of candy canes. Just those little things that we all kind of throw into our grocery basket this time of year to just have a little bit of something extra at home or when the grandkids come by. These families don't have that. And so this is a nice way to help them make some memories.
Because I've got my mindset on buying toys, like I don't know what they're going to be yet, but I never think about the smaller things. Yeah. That make those little additional Christmas things nice, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Do you remember the little Rubik's Cube?
Oh, yeah.
Many, many years ago, I was in a duty station that had the reserves come in and do the Toys for Tots program. And we had a company that bought 5 pallet loads of those.
Good heavens.
For distribution. And at that time, everybody wanted to have one of those things. And we had, I don't know how many thousands of those that we had to be able to give out to the kids.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Well, that's nice.
Companies do that. Companies, they have things. Sometimes they need a write-off or some kind. Well, that's the time to do that. Buy a bunch of stuff and get it into the Toys for Tots program, and just makes it more. We've distributed over 627 million toys over the time that we've started this since 1958 or 48.
Oh, I've been saying 47, but okay, close enough.
But that's 282 million families.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are there in America?
Yeah, 330 million.
300 million, or plus. And almost that total number has been serviced by this program.
I would imagine probably a lot of the CEOs or other high-ups in these corporations also have military backgrounds, and so they probably have a special spot for Toys for Tots and that kind of thing. And I talked to some of the business owners, not just specifically about this event, but about all the stuff that goes on all year long. And you mentioned earlier about how generous this community is. And I know of a couple of people that have really put some serious money into some of these nonprofits in our area, and they asked me not to announce it. They said, well, I do a little bit. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you to get on the air and start even, bragging about me or something like that. And I go, well, so it's off the record. But we have some people that really put their money where their mouth is when it comes to some of these nonprofits. But it's like the need is always there, and even though we hear about the economy, supposedly doing so well, I think since I've been doing the show, I've heard more this year about families in need than I've ever heard. And I've been doing the show for 5.5 years, close, 5 1/3, I don't know, and I think in the last 12 to 18 months, I've heard from all the nonprofits more, they're not worried, but concerns, about certain things. But are they going to be able to provide all the services they want? Particularly, just also, do y'all do small cash transactions, so to speak? Somebody can't pay their electric bill or their car payment and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we've done over $60,000 in financial assistance this year.
Yeah, and Jennifer does that, and so does Promises, and they're saying, prices are going up, but the monetary donations remain kind of flat. Same thing with Next Step Women's Center. They're going to have a interesting little fundraiser going on with plastic baby bottles and put your change in.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I'm going by there tonight to pick up some for my Sunday school class. I said, "Here, you're going to put some change in this, Jack." Sorry, not you, Jack. But, anyway, but I just hear that, and so that's why I always kind of got very, very irritated with the media trying to play up the fact, well, our GDP went up. So what? We still got a lot of people in need, and
sometimes the conversations that we have with donors specifically, who are trying to understand, right? They're doing well, but not everybody has the ability to participate in the stock market. What is it? Only 40% of Americans roughly, have participate in that. Well, yeah, that's where your money's being made, right? But this Share the Love season, we have signed up more families, new families, than we have in the last few years. So these are families who are, most of these folks are working people. And they're just struggling to make ends meet. And the thought of having to figure out Christmas when you're struggling to figure out how to just put food on the table, is something that we can help them with, right? And we want to help them with. We want to alleviate that stress for these families, and so it's our pleasure to do that. And the community is very generous, when it comes to these kinds of programs. So
y'all get together as a community group, and as a house, I hope, and plan for next year, right? You set certain goals and whatnot. Right. You probably have to lift your goals higher next year, right? Because just to meet the need.
Probably, yes. Right.
Do you have any numbers to share with us?
We're in the process of looking at numbers right now. At the end of the year, I brought my end of year letter. After
let's see what you got.
Yeah, after I guess for between the first of the year and November, so for 11 months, over 7,700 families provided for in the food pantry. And that is definitely higher than anything we've seen in the last 2 to 3 years. This does not include our November number, which was another 852 families. And we will probably serve somewhere between 500 and 700 families in about 9 days, which is what we're open this month. So it's unreal, the need that's out there.
Well, Debbie over at Promises, I talked to her. And also one of the volunteers is in my Sunday school class, and they're running about 700 families a month. And Harvest House is bigger than either one of y'all, right? Not tremendously, but they are a larger outfit, and so they're racking up around 800 a month, and that's a bunch, A
lot of people.
A lot of people. Yeah. So I try not to get too irritated, so to speak, or something financially. We'll have to go. Spend some money on something. I try not to get too worked up because I said, well, at least I got it, instead of, worrying about, how long are these tires are going to hold out and that kind of thing. The
other, community of people that we often, sort of, forget to mention this time of year is our senior population.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. Granted, we're talking about Toys for Tots,
Right.
but our older adults really have few opportunities to change their economic situation.
Yeah.
Right. So many older folks are living just on that Social Security check, and that just doesn't go very far anymore.
No.
And if they're still paying rent or a portion of their mortgage, or these are folks who are really struggling. Beyond most of our financial assistance dollars are for older, are utilized by older adults.
It's interesting because last time I was at Promises, I looked at the patrons, if you will, the clients, and they basically came in two categories: senior citizens or single moms.
Yep.
All right, there was another gentleman in there, but most of them were single moms and senior citizens. Yeah. And I was thinking,
food insecurity.
It's the hard thing to watch. Somebody that's in their 70s having to go to food pantries. We all think that their retirement age is your golden years, but not for some.
Not for a lot. Yeah.
Well, change this up just a little bit. You got your map out there, CJ. So tell us tonight if they're coming by, if they haven't donated to a box and they want to participate tonight, where they need to go, which exit or entrance rather they need to come in, that kind of thing.
Okay, excellent. Well, if you're traveling down 174 Wilshire Boulevard and you come to Elk Drive, just make a right-hand turn into that road. Just go about a half a mile, and it takes you right into the entryway to the parking lot at the Burleson ISD Stadium parking lot.
Okay, so it's a football entrance, not like there's two entrances. There's the one that take you to the stadium and student parking lot and all that other. Well, there's three entrances. Right? Yeah, there's the stadium one.
The entranceway into the parking lot is on Elk.
Right, but I'm just saying which one because there's three.
Well, we'll have police officers directing traffic.
So you don't have to worry about it.
If you're on Elk Drive, you're going to wind up in there. There's two different directions, though. If you're coming into the parking lot to support the events that are taking place, and actually BISD has got 18 schools, and I believe all of the schools have their performing arts students who are going to be on stage. So the city has provided the stage, so we'll have the lights and PA system and what have you. And all the performing arts students will be up there for about 10 or 15 minutes. So they're dancing and singing and all of those things. And, of course, that'll bring all the parents, families, and what have you. And there will be a series of chairs out there for people to sit in to watch that. But just to the right of that stage is going to be Santa Claus booth. And it's Santa's workshop. And Santa will be there. It'll be all decorated so that you can take a picture of yourself and your kids along with Santa. And then just to the right of that will be some vendors, and vendors will have the hot coffee and hot cocoa and those things for some refreshments for stuff. And then that's going to go from 6 o'clock until about 9:30 in the evening. So the kind of that entertainment type thing. And if people want to bring toys, well, there'll be some boxes to drop off there at the stage. And then the fire department will be bringing Santa at 7 o'clock sharp, with all the sirens blaring and everything else, and he comes up Elk Drive and turns into the parking lot there, and it's just a sight to behold. And of course, he drives up to where his booth is. He gets out of the vehicle and gets into his booth, and then the fire engine puts his vehicle on display over by the side of the entryway into the stadium, and then the police department's going to have their vehicles on display also. Because we want the kids to be able to see who are these guys that wear, black costume or uniforms and drive these cars. Let them see the police officers and the fire department and what have you. We'll have plenty of lighting. Now, on the other side of the stadium will be where we collect the toys from all the vehicles. So the vehicles will be asked to go all the way down Elk Boulevard, go around the back side of the school, and turn back around.
That's what I was yesterday. We talked about it because that's. So if you're bringing toys, they need to go to the entrance that's closest to the band hall. Now, Burleson people know what I'm talking about, because the way the school's laid out, the football stadium, student parking lot. And then, so it's a third entrance that's by where the band hall is and the
there are signs.
Little arena, auditorium rather.
Yeah. And we have signs that are directing with arrow pointing that way and make a right-hand turn, and so you can't get lost. And but when you come around the other side, there will be all the athletes who will be there. Some of them will be in their jerseys, which it's going to be not too cold tonight, so they might be able to
you're
do
going to have
that.
some good weather tonight.
And so they're going to be taking the toys from the cars as the cars come in, and they'll take the toys and put them into the boxes. And then we have a Boy Scout troop who will be counting the toys and put them in a black bag and setting them aside. And then the Marines, at about 10 o'clock tonight, they'll be picking up all the bags and taking all the toys to the warehouse, and then they're going to wind up delivering them to the House of Hope here about the 15th or so.
Wow.
It's a big event, but its purpose to let the BISD have all their children be part of a very benevolent event.
Mm-hmm.
Who
are you dealing with at BISD? Michaela Hill?
Well, Michaela is, she's really in charge, but Ashley
Logan, yes.
has really made everything happen. She's just kind of taken control, and all the folks that help at the stadium, all the people that make that place shine like it does, are involved in putting up the chairs.
Are you dealing with the gentleman named Ted Tomcheson?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, he's an old friend of mine. We've been friends for 3 decades. We taught together since the 90s. Mm-hmm. So he's a good man.
My grandson will be on the stage tonight. I'm going to get to see him on stage. That'll be super. We'll be able to take some pictures of him. But I really encourage everybody to bring a toy of some kind. Come to the event. If you're just going to drive through and drop off the toys, that's great. We'll be able to get some pictures of you. And we actually have car clubs that come to the event driving their car kind of like this because their entire car is full of toys.
Well,
and they'll come 10 or 15 cars, and when they stop, we get some pictures of them and publicize the car clubs and what have you. And it's just really amazing, how benevolent they are. Drop off all those toys.
Well, I plan on going to the drop line and then maybe parking somewhere. And so I can just kind of stroll around and see, take a look. Particularly if you're going to have old cars, that always is an attraction. I know Lisa tries to get them for her early May event and City on the Hill event. And we always try to get them for the homecoming parades.
It's fun.
People really just love old cars. Yeah. It's going to be a great event tonight. And by the way, are all 3 of these groups that are distributing, is it going to be distributed on the same day, or are they going to have their own days?
Have you decided a day you're going to distribute?
Yes, we will. We have our distribution date just a few days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll be able to deliver the toys to the nonprofits somewhere in the vicinity of the 15th or so of December.
Yeah.
Okay.
And however many toys they need.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wondered, Harvest House and Fountain
The
Church
Fountains
doing
is
same
just
day.
before ours. I do know that.
Okay. Well, I guess Gary will tell us next week.
Yeah.
Because he'll get all figured out.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, Elizabeth, we're going to make sure before you leave, we got you booked up for January.
Perfect.
So we can talk about how it went.
How it went.
Yeah,
right.
if you have any video of that, it'll be great.
Yeah, we'll
And,
be here.
so, and Jack, I'll be seeing, I don't know if I'll see you tonight. You're probably running around pretty busy, I bet.
Be a little bit busy.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. If I don't see you, I'll see you hopefully tomorrow night, I believe.
Thank you so much for letting us advertise this.
It's all right.
I think the biggest key is, biggest concern I had initially was, how do I let the families know who to call? I mean, I can advertise and stuff like that, but I really need the families to know who to contact so they can get the toys for their children. And I think we've been very successful this year at making that happen.
That's right. Well, y'all really worked hard at it, and I had to sit here and talk. So it's pretty easy. I got the easy job, and not as easy as Josh over there, but still.
He has his moments.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Josh, for being so quick with the technical updates here.
Yeah, all in a day's work.
All in a day's work. And let's see, next Monday I have Chris Fletcher on. We're going to yell and holler at him for a while. And then Tuesday we have Victoria Johnson. We'll yell and holler at her for a while. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about, one thing I'm going to talk about is, some of the stuff going down in Austin that's been proposed and how it's going to affect our city and all our cities. So, that's for next week. Let's have a good time this week.
That's right.
All right. And thank y'all for listening. Y'all remember all the stuff? I remember the Next Step open house. So we kind of schedule it. It's 5 to 7 for the open house for Next Step. So you can go take care of that, and go to Gail's little party, and go to Jack's party, and you're good to go. So I bet I won't see you. I'm sure you'll be very busy the rest of this day, but Gail's party is always fun. So, all right. Enough talk. I got to go. And so do you dolls. So thank y'all for listening. Share this with your friends. Let them know this is going on. Let them know that there's still going to be places available for not indefinitely though. So just, if you have somebody that, you're listening to this later and you say, wait a minute, I know somebody could use this, that we have, Josh, you throw up that number again for House of Hope. I'm going to keep that. There it is. Call 817-297-6400. And so maybe you can get in at the last minute and salvage Christmas, I guess.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for all y'all doing in making our community so much better.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.
I guess.
Yeah.